Today on Real Life and Real Estate, part 2 of taking your business to the next level. Hi there and welcome to Real Life and Real Estate. I'm Mark Peebles, here to help you live your best life and achieve ultimate success. And I'm very eager to get into part 2 of the series that we're in, helping you take your business to the next level, where we're talking about a next level framework. It is a 6-part relationship building framework to help you take your business to the next level. Before we get to that today, I want to talk to you, though, about Advantage Home Warranty. It's my favorite home warranty in the business. And if you're an agent, you need a great home warranty in your back pocket. And that, for me, is Advantage Home Warranty. They're my favorite home warranty in the business. I carry one on my personal home. Why? Because I get great service. They own their own plumbing and HVAC company. They control the cost. They control the service. And it's just an excellent company all around to work with. So for your clients and for yourself, consider using Advantage Home Warranty. All right, let's get into the 6-part relationship building framework today. So what are the 6 parts? So last week we talked about mail, returning to snail mail. Are you kidding me? Go back and listen to last week. Today we're talking calls and texts. We're going to get into emails today. Then we've got an annual client review. We have client events. And finally, the 6th part is social media. So today, though, I want to zero in. The reason we're doing this over multiple parts is because it's too much to talk about all in one episode. And so I want to break this up over the episodes, allow you to take notes, allow you to really think about each part of the 6-part framework. And so today we're going to focus in on calls and texts or using your phone as one, and then we'll talk about emails of value. So let's start with calls and texts. First of all, I know there's a lot of people out there that don't like the phone. In fact, I'm going to be 100% brutally honest with you. I hate the phone. Oh man, I get so tired of being on the phone. By the end of the day, I am exhausted. Do you ever feel that way? Do you ever feel like when you look down, you come out of an appointment and you've got 25 text messages? Do you ever feel like, oh, I've got to respond to these text messages? And what happens when you respond to the text messages? More text messages come in. It's a never-ending cycle. And sometimes I really do believe you have to shut your phone off, or at least not be available on your phone anymore. I had a great coach at one point during a time of my life where I was really going through almost a nervous breakdown. And she said, Mark, you cannot be tied to the business all the time. In fact, when we talk about helping you live your best life and achieve ultimate success, just take this as a note. You don't need to be tied to the business all the time. Your family deserves you. So back in that time, I actually had this coach that said, Mark, after 7 o'clock, you're not taking calls, you're not checking text messages anymore. And if a client needs you, you communicate to them up front and let them know if they need you, that they need to text you and text the word emergency so that you know to reach out. Now, I've been in this practice for years since that coach gave me that advice. And let me tell you, I've never had a client text me emergency. They've always been okay with hearing from me the next day. Now, there are exceptions to the rule. If you have to write an offer, if you're on a deadline, that has to be taken care of tonight, okay? But at the end of the day, and literally at the end of the day, you do need to disconnect from it because you need time to connect with your family, to refresh your mind, to settle down a little bit from the day so that you can get good rest, okay? So that is not at all what I was focused on talking about today, but I felt like it was necessary to say because in this business, we are tied to our phones all day long. Calls, texts, emails, we are tied to the phones all day long. Everything we do revolves around the phone. However, there are some points of value in terms of your relationship building efforts when it comes to the phone. And so let's start with calls and texts. First of all, my model, this framework that I'm teaching you, I want you to make one call per year, one live voice-to-voice interaction with your client per year. So if you sold someone a house last year on their anniversary, their 1-year anniversary date this year, maybe give them a phone call and say, you know what, I was thinking of you today. It's your 1-year anniversary, and I wanted to touch base, say congratulations on being in your home 1 year, and just reach out and say hello, right? Now, there is this piece of everyone. I think all of us do it. I've certainly done it over the years where we're afraid to pick up the phone and make the call because we're afraid that the person on the other end of the line is going to be mad at us about something like, oh, it's been 2 years since you sold us our house and you've never called us once, right? Which agents are well known for. But here's the deal. I believe that if you call with a heart of, you know what, I've wanted to reach out to you, I've been intending to reach out to you, and I thought of you today, and I thought this is a day I'm going to give you a call and check in on you, you would be shocked at how well that is received by people. People actually genuinely want to hear from you. So don't be afraid of the phone. But in my model, in the system of relationship building that I am teaching you, I say you need to have one voice-to-voice interaction per year. All right? Now, the other important or the other important interaction to have with your phone is your text messaging, okay? Text messaging is a lot easier. It sometimes doesn't feel as obtrusive. You don't have to hope someone answers the phone, or if you miss, leave a voicemail. You can send a text message just to check in on someone. Hey, I thought of you today and thought I would reach out and see how things are going for you. Or I was thinking of you today. How are you and the family doing? How are you and Donna doing? Or how are you and Dave doing? Depending on who you're reaching out to. Or maybe you reach out, you've got both spouses in a group text and you reach out to both of them. I was thinking of you guys today. How are you and the kids doing, right? It's just checking in. Do you know that not every contact that you make with someone has to be business related? And if you're following this framework, okay, so like you're sending the snail mail where they're getting a real estate message from you, and you're sending emails of value, they're getting real estate messages from you. When you're doing client reviews or annual real estate reviews, they're getting real estate messages from you. They're getting plenty of real estate messages from you. So sometimes using the phone via call and text message just to say hello and check in on someone, it's okay. All right. So that's the first piece of this. Now, and when it comes to text messages, I want you to send 4 text messages per year. I'm going to give you some strategies around those text messages that can be business related, though, and a strategy around your calls. Okay. So first of all, I want you to do an annual client review. We're going to, or annual real estate review, which I am going to be talking about next week. So tune in next week and you'll be able to hear all about how to do that. And also annual event. Do one event every year. That's a great opportunity to say, well, hey, listen, the reason I'm calling today, or I just wanted to text you today and let you know our client event is coming up, and I want to make sure that you know that you are personally invited, and I would love to see you there. Okay, so that's an easy phone call to make. Or, hey, it's time for me to do your annual real estate review. I want to go ahead and get something scheduled. I've got a new agent in the business. She's actually in the room. Natalie, my producer for this show, just got licensed. Congratulations, Natalie. And last week, the first thing I told her I wanted her to do was make phone calls. I wanted her to call 2 people. She called 3 and scheduled an annual real estate review for those 3 people, right? Because she's going to start building those relationships. She's going to start being an expert in the minds of those prospects, of those future clients, of those referral sources. And so she made those calls to do it. It makes it so much easier to make a call when there's a purpose behind it. And sometimes your purpose can just be, I thought of you today, and I thought, you know what? I better reach out and make sure things are going well for you, right? Okay. So that's calls and text messages. Now, I'm going to come back to a great way to use a call or a text message and tie it to an email. So they're getting some double messaging from you. So when it comes to emails of value, right, I want you to send 2 emails of value per month. Okay, so 24 emails per year that your clients are receiving from you, and they are emails of value. So what would an email of value be? Well, one of my favorite things to do is to use BombBomb. Now, there's other video email services, but I love how BombBomb works. And again, there are some similar products out there. I have just used BombBomb. BombBomb is not paying me to talk about them, but it is a platform that I think I've been a member of probably for 8 or 9 years now, and I use it a ton. So I use it when a lead comes in. I will send a video email right back to you and say, hey, I'm Mark Peebles. I just wanted to put a face with the name, introduce myself. Let me know how I can help. I get a lot of business off of that just because it's a warmer follow-up than just, the random call or text message that most likely they're not going to respond to. Now, I do make the call. I do send the text message, but it's that video email that puts the face with the name where there's a lot of value. So I love BombBomb, but the thing with BombBomb is I can record a video message to that client and say, hey, Joe, I was just thinking of you today, and I wanted to spend 1 second and tell you that I hope everything's going okay with the family, right? And I'm not going to stumble over myself that much. The good thing is you can re-record with your BombBomb, so that's actually a beautiful thing, and I do that a lot too. But listen, it's a great tool. It's effective. I'm going to give you one little clue when it does come to using video, whatever you're using video in. When you start a video, smile, okay? So as you watch my videos, my real life and real estate videos, or Real Talk Real Estate Show videos, or any of the past videos that I post or examples that I post, one of the things you always see is that I do smile, okay? I smile at the beginning. I try to smile again at the end. And it's a little trick that it draws people into you, and then you don't look like you're ticked off, right? And so if you're going to use video email, smile at the beginning and give a big smile at the end, and then be light as you're talking with a smile on your face. Be pleasant, right? Things that you'll become conscious of the more that you do it. I love video email, though, for all of these reasons. It's great for the touch base. It's great for recording a monthly market report that then you can send out to your whole list. And then the great thing is that the metrics on the back, you can actually see who opened your video, who watched your video, what percentage of it they watched. So a lot of value in video email. I am a huge fan, and I think it's the most effective emails that you're going to send. Now, another very effective email to send is a home value report. I'm not talking about your annual, annual real estate review. Not talking about that. I am specifically talking about using a program to send a monthly home value report to your clients. I'll give you a couple of examples. Years ago, I had, when I bought my house in 2018, the loan officer that we used at the time set us up on HomeBot. Okay, so that is one of the platforms out there that you can use. It's called HomeBot. And she set us up. She actually not only set us up for the home that we live in now, but I'm still receiving it for our previous home. And guess what? Every month when that comes in, I open it. I want to see what that software, what that program says my home is worth. I also get it from a random agent that signed me up under whatever program he uses. And guess what? He probably sees that Mark Peebles every month is opening that home value report. Why? Because it's of value to me. I want to know what these portals are saying my home value is worth. And if that lands in my inbox every month, that is a high value report coming to me. Now, I'll tell you what I am using now. There's several different options out there, but there's two in particular. One is Lofty. Our company is on Lofty, and one of the things that you can do, you can pay for an upgraded package where you can send out so many home value reports per month. Incredibly invaluable insights. They're great reports, and what I'll tell you, there's nothing perfect. Sometimes one ends up way low, sometimes one ends up way overinflated, but it's really, I always say, the thought that counts. Like, it's showing up in their inbox with your name on it every month, okay? Now, the one that I use most actively is actually in partnership with my lender, the lender that I refer to, with Destination Mortgage. I connected with Tyler. Tyler set me up for list reports, okay? List reports, it is initiated from the lender side, okay? And then he signs me up for it, And it's loaded with all kinds of value, right? I can do various reports on my listings. I can create flyers for my listings. I can create a website for my listings. It has daily, it has news articles that are industry wide, things that are educating me on what's going on in the market. There's all kinds of tools in it, but my favorite tool is the home market report. Okay, so you set your client up in there, you set them up on the market report, it will send them that initial email. Now, pause. It's sending them the initial email. Let's go back to calls and text messages, okay? This is a great opportunity to call a client, catch up with them, use the Ford model where you talk to them about family, occupation, recreation, dreams, a casual conversation, and say, oh yeah, by the way, one of the reasons that I called you today is because I am going to be sending you a home value report through a new system that I'm in. And it's a really cool report, and you're going to receive it every month, giving you an update on what your home value is. And so it's a great call, but you can also text that and say, hey, I just emailed to you an introduction to a new home value report that I have, and I wanted to make sure that you had, that you knew that it was coming to you, that you could look for it, and then they have to actually go in and they have to accept the home value report for it to start sending to them monthly. So it's an excellent tool, and here's really the value in it is that they're going to open that every single month, okay? So I want you sending 2 emails of value a month. You just knocked one of those out. Now, record a market report that you can send out to your whole list and send that out with a video email. Boom, you just got 2 emails of value. Now, one other kind of email that you could send, and there are so many different kinds of emails that you can send, but send seasonal emails, okay? So a seasonal email, it could be like every winter. One of the emails I like to send is when we get our first hard freeze in Ohio, I always like to send out an email and remind people what to do in case of a water emergency. Why a water emergency? What happens when I have a pipe burst in my house? When a pipe freezes and bursts, it is a mess. So I'll send out a reminder with a video email, by the way, and I'll say, here is what you do if you have a pipe burst in your home. First of all, before we get into this hard freeze this coming week, find out where your water shutoff is so that you know in an emergency where I need to go to shut the water off. All right. So I do this in the video. I talk about it in the video, and then I will put it also in the text below so that they can read it, and I'll bullet point out the steps to take. And then the other thing that I'll always recommend in that email, this seasonal email coming out during the winter, I will recommend to them that they will, shut their water off, flush their toilets, and drain all of their water lines in the house before they leave the house for any period of time. Why? Because if they're in Florida for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks and they have a pipe burst, they're going to come home to an absolute mess. Now, I don't think they need to shut their water off and winterize, right? That's expensive. It's really unnecessary. If they just shut their water off where it comes into the house, and then they drain all of their lines and flush their toilets, there's nothing to burst there, right? So just a little tidbit, but I send that out in a seasonal email. I have one agent that every week she receives an email. She's gone in. It is a local site where they publish events happening around the area. And every Thursday, they send out the events for the coming week. I think it includes like a couple of weeks. Well, she is subscribed to that. She gets that on Thursday, copies the email, puts it into her format that she is templated, and then sends that to all of her clients. Guess what? They open it because they want to see what's going on in the area this week. So those are emails of value, video emails, your monthly market report or monthly home value report. You're sending out seasonal emails. You're sending out events that are happening. Those are emails of value that people are going to open. And remember, you can always take the email that you're sending out, and then you can tie it back to a call or a text message to remind someone that that is coming out. So there you go. There is some real value. We're going to make one voice-to-voice call a year to reach out to our clients. That doesn't sound so bad, does it? I mean, there are other frameworks out there where you're like, 50 calls a week. Now, let me tell you, you do need to be having real estate conversations. You can't be a secret agent and be successful. So you need to be having conversations. But our framework, it's a greater framework where the call is a part of it, but it is not the only piece of it, right? So 1 call per year with your sphere of influence, 4 text messages, okay? So now we're up to 5 contacts there, and then 2 emails per month. That takes you to 26 emails per year. Look, you're getting all kinds of contact, all kinds of connection points with your clients. Now, I'm going to end the show going back to calls because I do want to add one caveat when it comes to calls and text messages. If you have an active prospect, in other words, this is someone who is going through a life change that you think is potentially going to be buying or selling, or they've actually reached out to you and said they're thinking about buying or selling, or you've met with them and they're thinking about buying or selling, and you don't have them under an official contract, those you need to be calling on a monthly basis, if not more often, checking in with them, sending listings to them, watching their neighborhood. If it is a potential listing, watching their neighborhood for new listings and sending those to them, being proactive about reading the market for them and staying in touch with them, and being in contact via phone or text messages once or more per month. Okay, the last thing you want to have happen is 3 months down the road, you haven't touched base with them, and you run into them in the grocery store, and you're like, hey, when are you going to be ready to get the house on the market? And they say, we actually just sold the house, or we actually just bought a house. Lost opportunity. Now, I've gotten that punch in the gut before, and let me tell you, it is a punch in the gut. You do not want that punch in the gut. So I am telling you, if they're not just sphere of influence, that you are part of your list, your relationship building list, that you're continually consistently and systematically marketing to, these are people that are on your hot list, or that they're going through life change and that there's a possibility that they might be doing something in the near future. These are people you are reaching out to more often, at least 1 call or call and a text in a month, being very consistent in front of them. So calls, texts, emails, we're working through the 6-part relationship building framework. Be sure to join us next week, because next week I'm going to talk about one of the most valuable things that you can do to engage a client and to, stay in front of a client and provide huge value as a real estate professional to your clients. Don't miss it. But otherwise, I hope you have a great week, and we'll talk again soon.